It's raining outside. It's cold. Okay. Oh, where do I even start? Is everyone okay? Is everyone all right? Because it seems like lately the world is failing in applying its own humanity. And that is the reason why I'm here today. I know so many of you know me from singing and doing music, but there's so much to me and so many of my life principles that have made my life so much softer and gentler and has helped me relate to others and understand others better, that I wanted to share with you and I want to bring into the world because I've learned it from books, I've learned it from other people, and it's only fair I pass that forward. And hopefully by the end of this video you will understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully by the end of this video you will slightly fall in love with humanity. So it's worth starting by saying that when we come into the world, we are born in different families. Some of them are families that shout, some of those are families that laugh, some of those families know how to communicate their emotions, others just go silent. Some people have families to begin with, others don't have families at all, and they don't have a support network. The way in which we come into the world is going to decide a lot of what sets us up for the life that we're going to live. But it's not just the family, it's everything that we get surrounded with. It's all the examples of how people do life, of what is right and what is wrong. And as we start growing up, we develop language. We develop language to express our emotions. We develop language through which we define the limits and the borders of our world and what is possible and what is not possible. So where I'm getting with this is that so much of who we become is modeled. And how we collectively show up into the world, how I collectively show up with my friends and with my family, for my niece and nephew right now, is forming the basis of how they're going to shape themselves and mold themselves to be as young adults, and then through more exposure with other individuals from school, clubs and online information, that is also going to shape how they become. All these influences and how we collectively show up into the world is shaping what we all get to experience. And therefore, in one way or another, we are responsible for how those around us or those who have interacted with us at one point in our lives are being shaped and who they become. And this is something very hard to take on because people don't want to take responsibility if they think about the worst case scenarios, about the people that commit unimaginable, cruel crimes, right? We don't want to think that we have had anything to do with that. However, nobody becomes a monster in a day. These things are typically, that humanity is typically being chipped away. Think about all the times when you've gone through a breakup or a betrayal and how that has shaped you, how you're going to interact further on. Now, if you amplify that, some people do get to be so unlucky that there are many cries for help and many cries for being seen and understood throughout life, and these things do not happen. And I love so much when Gabor Mate says the fact that trauma is not about the things that happen to you, it's also what doesn't happen. When you're looking for comfort and that comfort never comes, and you have to be in that distress for a long period, that is also something that shapes who we become. So if you think about yourself and all the things that have shaped you, all those little fights that you had in school, the teachers who maybe praised you or minimized you, the things where you believed in and you were so enthusiastic about and people put you down, how have all these experiences shaped in what you think is available for you right now, of what is possible, of your view of the world? Are you talking about life in terms of life is hard, life is complicated, or have these shaped you to think optimistically about what is out there in the world? And I don't think we think enough about that. I don't think we think enough about how we're shaping the other person. How many people are breaking up and they're doing it in the nastiest, ugliest way possible, with words being thrown and doing it in a way that is just awful. I will raise my hand in saying that so many of the breakups from teenager years up until uni have been hard and somewhat dramatic and unskillfully navigated. And if there's one key word that I want everyone to know and everyone to keep up with, is the word unskilled. Let's be honest, everyone goes through life unskilled in so many departments. We're only good at so many things. To live is to learn. To live is to learn how to be a better human and to fully embody this experience with grace. And sadly, we fall short in recognizing our own shortcomings, and partly because that's how the nervous system is wired. If something doesn't feel right, the instinct is to blame the external, to find a villain out there. And what that means is also we shift responsibility for someone else being responsible for the change, for something to happen. And we don't see that enough going through everyday life. If you're in the office and you're constantly complaining about something going on, how are you contributing to that dynamic? How are you contributing with the way you react, with your own silence, with the things that you don't speak up about, with the fact that maybe you're overcompensating and doing other things that are actually taking the slack and taking the workload of others, which is the very thing that you get to complain about? Have you thought about these aspects? Have you thought about how perhaps in going silent or in being more alert or hyperactive or in some way or another is impacting those around you? And it takes a lot of grace and a lot of maturity to admit those things, that perhaps my way of being is also shutting my partner down, that perhaps my way of coping with my emotions is also making him feel pushed away. People will do and will say everything to justify their shortcomings and defend themselves, and that is a natural mechanism. We don't want to be seen as doing something wrong or hurting someone else. It's totally fair to do that. However, that is shaping whether conflict is escalating or not. That is shaping the world around us and also how someone else will feel tomorrow about us. And we don't like to take that responsibility. Sometimes I hear people saying business is business as a justification for some move or decision of how they handled things. And I keep thinking how that phrase has become almost like a pass for whatever decision people make. And truth is that business is business, but business is handled by people and is done with people. And that is where a lot of people also fall short. Just not checking with each other of the things that we rationalize or justify is one of the big problems out there. The fact that people would start degrading and go into dissing videos or gossip videos. How is that? How is that helping anyone besides you feeling good about justifying your own inner analysis? How is that any helpful? Like, please explain to me, what is the purpose of a gossip video where someone just starts trashing someone other than feeling good about yourself? Something else that is happening out there is the fact that people will get triggered by someone's behavior or personal choice. A lot of the time it's personal choice that doesn't even influence them in any way or another, like how someone dresses and so on. And because they don't know how to cope with their own trigger, they will start going at them, and they will start being so firm and finding all the information, search all the information out there and surround themselves with information bubbles online that agree with their opinion. Quite some years ago, what I decided, I literally started following people that triggered me, that I couldn't understand, and I was like, this is not right. Yeah, but why? So I started following accounts just to kind of get more of their philosophy and see where I was just being righteous and defending my own. And when people don't realize that they do that, they will go to war just to prove that they are right. They will go to war just to feel safe in their own opinion. And that is wrong. That is very wrong, because there's been no separation between one's humanity, emotion, and the analysis that happens inside. Just because you think something, and just because in your own thinking that is right, it doesn't mean that is right for everyone. And quite frankly, it can't be. There is no right thing for everyone. There is no one solution that applies for everyone, because we all grew up in different backgrounds. When I say monsters are not made in a day, I mean, how are we chipping away at other people's humanity? How are we leaving more people around us feel unheard, dismissed, disrespected, discriminated? Having to think about all these things where we contribute. We contribute to the online drama. We contribute to the people that we have in power because we normalize some behaviors. And a lot of the time, our contribution comes from enabling others to continue doing something and perpetuate something. For example, someone I follow on LinkedIn, and this person posted a screenshot of a newsletter that was sent by an app. And obviously the majority of the comments were about that, just how awful is that? And then there was this man who posted about, well, if you're so bothered about it, why have you posted about it? Because the creator's now laughing her ass, the fact that she has all this virality. But I felt the need to comment because people don't seem to understand that silence perpetuates something. And if there's some harmful behavior out there, it needs to be called out, because if it's not, then it just becomes enabled. And scale that at mass, because it seems like a lot of brands use the same marketing tactic, and what you do get is the new normal, a new threshold of how marketing can be done. And that applies everywhere. Like, look at all the TV shows that are out there, these Big Brother TV shows or love and dating related shows. If you have one of these shows and the people that you've selected for the show fit a particular type of style of stereotype in terms of how they look, and a particular type or style in terms of how they communicate and how they cope emotionally in that setting, and if every single show is modeling the same type of interaction or what dating looks like or what communication looks like in a dating context, what you will get out there is more younger people or adults that will start modeling the same wishes or behavior or attitudes, because that show at scale normalizes things. And that is problematic, because if you have one of those shows showing that there is a lot of scandal and there is a lot of push and pull, that's how they will model that is what happens typically within couples, and that is okay. All these little things, whether we talk about the big scale of things or the smaller scale of things, they contribute to how we influence one another and doing better, being better humans, and being so unshamelessly accountable for the baggage that we bring into the world is going to help us relate better. And so far, not enough people are doing that. Not enough people are taking accountability. What I do see happening a lot is most probably people just being bossy and sassy in the comments, of trying to pick other people apart and, be mean to them and rude and call them out on how they look and you've gained weight, and they don't look into their lives because it's very scary to know that you're wrong. And that is where maturity and wisdom comes in, to know that most of the times you're wrong. Most of the times we have no clue what we're doing, but that doesn't mean that we can't do better. I suppose wrapping this up, I would want to say, think of your output into the world. Think of the things that you're reducing people to, or how you're generalizing situations. Think of how you're justifying your own feelings, and whatever that justification is, you believe that that's true. Think about the behaviors you're enabling in others. If something rude, mean, harmful, unfair is happening out there, are you doing anything to stop it? Are you doing anything to say, hey, that's not cool, that's not kind? It's time we redefine cool as being a heartfelt, warm, huggable, fuzzy human, someone to feel safe around. Cool isn't being detached, isn't not caring. If you listen to so many podcasts and videos out there of the self-proclaimed confidence coaches of how I changed my life around, you get a lot of the detachment of the self-focus. But if everyone and anyone would start thinking about those around them as much as they think about themselves, the world will be such a better place. So think about those around you. Do it as an active exercise of thinking about those, because every single day we're chipping away at someone's humanity. Sometimes because we're not promoting them after they've worked really, really hard and we're passing them. Sometimes it could be that it's because of how we treated them in our intimate relationships. Sometimes it could be because when someone, a third party, was insulted publicly, nobody stepped in to actually protect them and defend them. That is also someone's humanity being chipped away. That is also how a lot of people start being a bit more of a pushover as they start going into the world, because what is happening to them is also not fair. What we do is what we all experience. And I think that's about it.